Good morning, citizens. Welcome to another episode of Objection Celebrity Court Chatter. How are y'all doing this morning? I was waiting for y'all to kind of come in this morning as I was queuing up the show. How is everyone? Good morning, Joy. At the beach, woke up early. Early bird catches the worm. Um, you beat Laura in here. And we're still talking about Baldoni lively case. Really hoping for some positive news from the judge today. It's time for him to sit up and pay attention. Yep, me too at the beach. But we have a great show for you guys today. We are going to be covering anything new with Baldoni Lively tomorrow in our legal wrap up. You guys know Thursdays we do the legal wrap up. And so we're going to go ahead and cover Perez's letter. If you guys have not seen his letter, you guys can go check that out on his channel. But I will be covering it tomorrow. It's his reply to it was the opposition to motion to quash in Nevada. And so this is his response. And it was really, really good. But I don't want to do spoiler alert. So either go check it out on his channel or we'll go over it tomorrow. And then there was, I believe, another filing in the Wayfair. The judge gave him like 2 days to respond to something. So we'll cover all of that tomorrow. And hopefully if something drops today, we'll be covering all of that. But today we are going to be having a full-on hip-hop episode. So if you're a hip-hop head and are wondering what's going on with our rappers, like we also have Drake versus UMG, Drake and Kendrick, which we've had several shows. If you guys haven't watched those shows, it's in the lives on the channel. So go check out Drake versus UMG. We're going to do a deep dive Thursday night on Drake. But, we have Diddy, Tory Lanez, and we're going to get into Busta Rhymes. It's like all the classics. Oh, and Fat Joe, I forgot about him. We had done an episode on him when I was doing CJ After Hours really late night. I think I only did one late night episode. I couldn't hang. But yeah, we got into the Fat Joe SA lawsuits and stuff. So I'm like, it's like all the old school rappers. Well, I call them old school, like, like the rappers that I grew up with, basically. So yeah, we're gonna get into what's the latest on Diddy, Tory Lanez's appeal, which is so juicy because why? Tell me why there was all this evidence that didn't come in during his trial, and so yeah, we're gonna get into all that juicy stuff and Busta. Like, this is just my theory. Where's my banner? Because I need to put this up for my theory. But okay, why is it that after his criminal case, all of a sudden he's getting all these awards, Hollywood Walk of Fame? Like, that's all you hear. It literally took me a while to find the civil and criminal charges against him, because I had to go through pages of him just winning award after an award after award. So we're going to get into that and my theory that these awards may be coming to him to kind of hide all the stuff that's going on with him legally. No, Drake uses the same lawyer as Stephanie Jones. He uses the same lawyer as Blake. It's Michael Gottlieb. That's who he uses. And yeah, at the beach, I agree that Perez's letter was really good. We're going to go over that tomorrow because it was really good. I want to amplify that. So let's go ahead and get into our show now that everybody's kind of coming in here. Wrath feels like I'm still half asleep. You're all right, girl. You can just listen. But welcome. Thanks for coming to support. So really quick, let's get into... We're going to start with Tory Lanez because that's the order that I have him in. And I used to say Tory Lanez, and it's not. It's Lane. So now I'm saying his name right. So Tory Lanez appeal. His lawyers say Megan Thee Stallion shooting trial was riddled with errors. So if y'all don't know what happened with this trial, it was basically this rapper Tory Lanez, and he was going out with Megan Thee Stallion, who's a female rapper, and they got into an altercation coming out of Kylie Jenner's party. Now, there's speculation that he was hitting on Kylie Jenner and all this stuff, and she got jealous and they left. but or that her friend that was in the vehicle with them when they left, he was messing around with her. So there's all kinds of like little speculation, but basically, long story short, they got into a vehicle, left Kylie's party, and at some point got into some kind of argument. And there's an eyewitness, which is so crazy because X is going wild with all this evidence. There's an eyewitness that says that he saw the two girls in the car fighting, and one of the girls was trying to kick the other one, and that the guy was in the car the whole time when he heard the shots and stuff. And so, Tory Lane's defense initially was that it wasn't him who had shot at Megan Thee Stallion. She claims that he pointed the gun at her from the car and said, "Dance, B word," and shot at her feet. So, anyways, they end up getting pulled over. She comes out of the vehicle with her feet bloodied, and she tells the police that she stepped on glass. Well, later, come to find out that she says that Tory Lanez actually shot at her feet, and he got charged. He's now serving 10 years in prison for it. He went to trial. And so let's just get into what it says here, because that's basically the summary, but it'll tell it a lot better here where I can read it to you guys. Attorneys for Tory Lanez, Daystar Peterson, urged an appeals court to overturn his convictions for shooting Megan Thee Stallion, arguing that his trial was riddled with errors and that prosecutors misled the jury about DNA evidence. And this is so compelling. The DNA evidence part, which we'll get to. One of my favorite creators, BJ Investigates, she's covering this case, and so juicy. One of our mods and my friend Christina, she's actually the one that started getting me into the Tory Lanez case, and I started watching BJ. We actually have a playlist in the community that has the Tory Lanez videos from BJ Investigates, if you guys wanted to do a deeper dive, if y'all want all the juicy details. But we're going to get into a lot of it here. At a crucial hearing Monday, August 18th, in Lane's appellate case, attorney Laura L. Sapero told a panel of 5 judges that the singer's legal team has an unwavering belief that he is innocent in the 2020 shooting and that he did not receive a fair trial when he was convicted in 2022. So let me get into this article here because this explains the whole story. So that other one didn't have like a good explanation, but Tory Lanez's lawyers pushed to overturn the conviction. As he serves his 10-year prison sentence for the shooting, the rapper's lawyers are working to appeal his 2022 conviction. They spoke to a panel of judges. Lane's attorney, Crystal Morgan, did I say Lanez again? I might have. Lane's attorney, Crystal Morgan, argued that the DNA evidence the prosecution presented during his trial was misleading, according to Billboard and XXL. So the hearing was on Monday, and you could watch it, but you couldn't record it. But a lot of people reported on it. So Billboard and XXL was some. I watched BJ Investigates for her reporting. It is actually marginally more likely that another member of the African American population touched this gun over Mr. Peterson, she said, according to outlets. If our jury had heard that Mr. Peterson had maybe one in a million touched the gun, I believe that would have been enough to tip that scale to show reasonable doubt. Another attorney on Lane's defense team, Jose Baez, and I know yesterday I was like, he's my favorite lawyer, and a lot of people don't like him because of Casey Anthony. And I was like, did I misspeak? Am I going to get canceled? But because he's so unpopular, Jose Baez. And he's actually going to be representing the Stamping Up heiress when she goes to trial next year too. Which, all these people are kind of guilty, but I just love his lawyering. He's just got away. I watched him in the Aaron Hernandez trial. If you guys have ever seen that documentary that shows, all the work he did there. He's just, as far as lawyering, he's got incredible lawyering. But so anyway, so Jose Baez is one of his lawyers, and he says, I would say it's a statistical fact that any random African-American male was more likely a contributor to the DNA on the gun than Daystar Peterson. Daystar Peterson is Tory Lanez's real name. In fact, the DNA community has a random profile that is used as a control sample, and that profile was determined to match the mixture found on the gun rather than Daystar Peterson. To be clear, it would be reckless and a complete fabrication to say that Tory's DNA was on that gun and not exclude him as a contributor. So they never excluded him, even though his DNA was not on the gun. During arguments on behalf of the prosecution, California Deputy Attorney General Michael C. Keller said, "There's 3 times in which Lanez tactically admitted to being the shooter. Among the evidence," Keller said, "was a text to Megan in which he apologized to her for something that never should have happened, blamed alcohol for the unspecified action, and said she probably would never talk to him again." During the trial, though, Lanez denied that the messages were related to the shooting. So it was this text message and also a phone call from the jail, but he never said, "I'm sorry for shooting you." He was always like, "Oh, that never should have happened." And a lot of people said that it was about the cheating or um, stuff getting out of hand in the car between that girl. That's, as far as I know, the theory that they were running with was that it was the friend who had shot her friend. "He was clearly accepting responsibility for something big," Keller said. During Lanez's closely watched trial, it was determined that the DNA found on the handgun that discharged the bullet was inconclusive. So it was not his. In May, Lanez was hospitalized after he was stabbed multiple times by a fellow inmate. Afterwards, his father announced he was recovering remarkably. So this stabbing, we covered it when we covered the Demore Hadley case with Our Nation. Yeah, this stabbing, Nicki Minaj talked about it. They think there was some kind of foul play with Megan's record label, Our Nation, ran by, my name is Hove. Can't say his name. Allegedly, for entertainment purposes. But yeah, Nikki was saying that, she contacted the FBI and stuff because someone threatened her, saying like, you don't want to end up like your friend, which was Tory or whatever. So that's another little side quest. Y'all can go watch the Demore video if you guys want to know more about the stabbing. But Tory Lanez dealt legal blow after prison stabbing. So the oral arguments took place in Los Angeles nearly a week after appeals court judge largely denied 2 of his petitions related to the case that brought forth new challenges of his conviction. In the pair of August 12th rulings on Lanez's habeas corpus petitions, a 3-judge panel reprimanded Lanez's legal team for failing to bring new claims in an untimely manner, establish the merits of their cases, and follow proper court procedures. Referencing a witness affidavit that the defense claimed was new evidence, the panel wrote, "The petition is untimely, and petitioner fails to explain and justify the significant delay in seeking habeas corpus relief on this basis. As for 2 affidavits from Lanez's driver, Jaquan Smith, they are inadmissible as they fail to the Code of Civil Procedure," said the ruling. So I believe that the testimony that they had was the one guy, and there's a recording of it. I don't know if I pulled up that X post, but I'll see if I have it. But it's him explaining. I don't know if it's to the cop or to who, but there's a recording of him saying like, "Yeah, the 2 girls were fighting. The guy was in the car." The judge also struck down Lane's team move to conduct more DNA analysis of the firearm and bullet fragments. So that's another thing. The bullet fragments went missing, and then 2 years later were found, and now they're saying that the bullet fragments are there. So it's just crazy. We'll get into it when we get into the website. That's where all the juicy details are. Not only did the defense fail to request further DNA testing during the trial, their petition also didn't adequately establish that additional DNA tests would establish a claim of actual innocence. Um, and that's what they're basically saying, that they didn't, like at trial, you have to like state your claims, like to preserve them for appeal, that they didn't preserve any claims for appeal. That's what the prosecution ended up saying at the appeal thing too. Previously, in a May 19th TikTok post, Megan hit back after Lane's team indicated that they had new information that corroborated his claim that he did not fire the weapon. She says, "At what point are y'all gonna stop making me have to relive being shot by Tory? At what point are Tory and y'all's fans gonna stop lying? Facts are facts. He did it. It was proven in court." Lanez, whose real name is Daystar Peterson, was convicted in 2022. The Canadian singer-songwriter pleaded not guilty on all counts ahead of his trial, but he was found guilty of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. And this unregistered firearm in a vehicle, they never ran the serial number on the gun. And so I don't know how they caught him on that, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Um, So who do we have over here in the chat? DFJ, welcome DFJ. How are you? Good morning. She's doing the rounds for the animals. This is like the official podcast for doing the rounds for animals, the official channel. Love that. Thank you for coming by to support. And Wrathful's still here. All right, Al. So we're gonna keep getting into this lawsuit because it gets spicier as we go along. So I'm gonna pull up this next slide. Let me pull this up. So this is Academics TV, and I hope this works. Let me know if you guys hear sound. And let me make this bigger for y'all. Okay, justice for Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez lawyer today revealed in his appeal that fingerprint evidence was withheld, which proved it was impossible to find for him to have fired the gun 5 times, and that the serial number was never searched by the LAPD to identify the owner of the gun that was shot. And it's a tiny gun. And let me see, do I have that slide? Because I know I will whittle down the slides. No, I don't have that slide. I whittled down the slides because I had 3 cases to get through, but the gun was like a tiny gun that it was never like identified what kind of gun it was. But from the pictures, someone tried to match it, and it was like a gun that like women carry. It's like a little tiny gun. So that's another side quest there. But let me play this.
Fingerprint evidence on time. We did not get,
Can you all hear
and
it?
the fingerprint evidence actually showed that Mr. Peterson's fingerprints, were not found on that weapon. Currently, we are attempting at the Superior Court to have them run the serial number to identify the owner of the weapon, which was not done. And we are also attempting to retrieve either a recording or we also likely did not get fingerprint evidence on time. We did not get, and the fingerprint evidence actually showed that Mr. Peterson's fingerprints, were not found on that weapon. Currently, we are attempting at the Superior Court
to
have them run.
Sorry about that, y'all. But basically, yeah, they're attempting at the Superior Court to get all this stuff. So that's the first team. Then we have she posts under at surprise witness. So this at surprise witness on X, she's BJ Investigates on YouTube. I don't know if she has a BJ Investigates for X, but y'all follow her on X at surprise witness if you guys want to continue to follow the Tory Lanez case. If this intrigues you, she's my number one source for anything Tory Lanez. It says the judge never heard that one, Tory's fingerprints were not present on the gun. His fingerprints were absent from the magazine, and there is a key witness 911 call that was never heard. On top of that, they also say that they weren't able to properly cross-examine some of the witnesses during trial. So she's a lawyer at surprise witness. She says, I believe each of the 3 are enough to turn the entire trial under Brady versus Maryland individually. So, she's over here citing case law saying like, I think they have enough. Then she says over here, the fingerprint evidence from the gun is a big deal regarding exculpatory evidence and Brady material. Tory Lanez's team argues that prosecutors did not turn over the fingerprint evidence, excluding Tory Lanez's prints, until midway through the trial. I think this is their best argument, her opinion. And so then she has this exculpatory evidence in criminal law. We're always learning a little side of ode to Ask Two Lawyers over here with our education. But she posted this exculpatory evidence examples, an alibi, witness testimony, and she's saying their best bet is physical evidence like DNA or fingerprints that exclude the defendant as a suspect. In fact, the DNA that was found was likely to be someone else, and there was female DNA found on the gun. So it corroborates his story. Well, the plot thickens, y'all, because BJ Investigates is not the only one reporting on this. There is also Representative Anna Paulina Luna. She is a representative out of Florida, I believe. She represents the 13th district, and FL 13. She decided to back him up. This is a post from May 19th. She says, I'm calling on Governor Newsom at California governor to review Tory Lanez' case and issue a pardon. His 10-year sentence was based on flawed evidence, political pressure, and prosecutorial bias. Justice must be blind, not driven by headlines. Free Tory Lanez. And then she has this link to this petition. Pardon Tory Lanez, urged Governor Newsom to correct a deep injustice. So it's got over 300,000 signatures. So, yeah, so she was fighting for him since May. And then this is her most recent post. She says, Tory Lanez should be pardoned. The evidence in this investigation and initial trial was completely botched, and he was never given a fair trial. Free Tory. And then this is a repost that's, this is before in July. So he just had his appeal hearing on August 18th. So he reached the final stage of the appeal, which is oral argument. Less than 1% of California appellate cases make it this far. And that's why, he has a chance, because it's rare that any cases make it this far. That means that there was something compelling in it that they let it get that far. So she's also covering it. So if you guys want to follow Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, she's covering the case and everything in it. And I don't know if she started this website or if she just shared it, but this is like the new thing, right? We have Baldoni Brief, which I still have to get her on the show. We're supposed to collab on like a docket show of like, this is the new norm for like the court of public opinion, right? Websites. We have the Friedman, the lawsuit info, that we have the Baldoni Brief, we have the Diddy docket. And so websites are like the new thing now for us. So this is a website, The Truth Uncovered, Suppressed Evidence Proves Tory Lanez is Innocent. And it's a very well done website, by the way. But Megan Pete is Megan the Stallion. And it says, through Megan Pete's own words, police reports, and expert analysis, the facts suggest Tory Lanez did not fire the weapon and tried to stop the conflict. This case deserves to be reconsidered as the evidence points to a different truth. And so this is saying, this is, to put all the facts here. So it goes into the fact checklist. Megan told police and doctors she stepped on glass, not that she was shot. Video and officers confirm Megan stepped on a glass bottle, not hit by gunfire. Sean Kelly testified 2 women. So this is the guy that I told you I heard in that audio call. Sean Kelly. 2 women fought in the street. One fired first. Tory was still in the car. Kelsey tested positive for gunshot residue. That's another thing. The girlfriend that was in the car, she tested positive for GSA. Her DNA was never tested against the gun, but they did find female DNA on the gun. Kelsey received free rent for a year after the shooting. Who paid and why? EJ said an object in the girl's luggage looked like a gun. EJ was the driver, I believe. Megan claims she spoke out in response to Tory, but the timeline proves she went public first. Tory's DNA was not found on the magazine, only 0.001% on the gun, statistically irrelevant. 90% of DNA on the gun belonged to an unknown male, not Tory. Tory's jail call apology was about the drama of sleeping with 2 friends, not a shooting. Tory has repeatedly said, I would never do anything like this. There were no bullet fragments on the x-ray that Megan got, no nerve damage, fractures, or joint trauma in Megan's medical records. The bullet fragments were lost and never presented at trial. Prosecutors misused Tory's rap lyrics, his tattoos, and uncharged allegations to sway the jury. And a lot of people, put your tinfoil hats on. A lot of people believe that because Megan the Stallion's label was Our Nation, that, they may have had something to do with Tory taking the fall. Kelsey's story changed multiple times. She admitted to lying under pressure. Megan's own timeline and injuries don't match the story of a shooting. And that's alleged. Also, I don't want no smoke from Mr. Hove. So that is alleged. That's just conspiracy, tinfoil stuff that's out there on the internet. If y'all wanted to go down the tinfoil rabbit hole. But so it's got a table of contents of everything. We're not going to go through everything in here. But this is the website, and gosh darn, I should have linked it, but I will. I promise you guys, I will link it at the bottom of the description. I forgot that this one was important to link, but you got all the videos right here, stepping into the truth, glass or gunshot. You got the screen recordings. It's super organized. What did Megan say happened in the hospital? Timeline contradictions. Like, this timeline is crazy. It's got transcripts, everything. Like, it's very robust. She had a bunch of scratches and stuff on her. The friend, he was not scratched up at all. Like, you could tell that the two girls had fought. So yeah, so it just goes and goes and goes. Let me just look, it just goes and like all the evidence. It's so well put. Medical facts do not match the narrative. It's got all the medical paperwork. Like, it's so robust. Yeah, they try to use his rap lyrics against him. He did not testify. The fact that a defendant does not testify on his behalf does not equate to guilt. A lot of time they tell him not. So it just says justice requires clarity, fairness, and facts, not assumptions. So y'all, what do you guys think on yes, thank you, DFJ. I'll remind you to link it. Oh, I can just text also. Let me just text my mod so she can put it in the chat real quick. It's really easy to remember. It's 36hourslater.com. So I'll send it to her and she can post it in the chat, and then I'll link it below. Oh, thank you for tagging BJ and a surprise witness. Yes. Go follow her. So y'all, that is the Tory Lanez tea of it all. I was hoping Christina was here, but maybe we'll do another, if it goes to the higher courts. So basically now we're just waiting on the judge, right? To say whether or not, this is going to be turned over or not. But if it doesn't, then he's going to take it to a higher court, because he's not done yet. He's basically saying, I'll take it one level up, one more level up. And so if it does, maybe we'll do a night show deep dive, because I know Christina really wanted to get into this case with me. But yeah, that is the Tory Lanez of it all. It's super juicy. I haven't gone through like I just discovered the website while I was doing the show. I've watched BJ's videos on it, but I've never seen it like compiled like this. So I want to, just take it all in. But yeah, so we're gonna get into Diddy next. What is the latest on Diddy? So the last time we talked here, you guys, Diddy got charged, right? He got charged with the Mann Act, and he is waiting for his sentencing, which is happening in October, I believe. But since then, he tried to file for bail. He had a bail hearing. And oh my gosh, if y'all saw the paperwork on the bail stuff, it was like he wants to reside in New York and Miami and be able to, fly and use airports. And it was a mess. Like, if I was a lawyer and I was trying to come with a bail plan, I'd be like, he's going to have curfew, he'll wear an electronic brace. It was very loose. Like, at the end, they were just like, whatever you seem necessary, he'll do. But there's a lawyer called @lawyered1 on X, and he was saying, like, you have to be really specific with these things. But one of the girls that was supposed to testify in the trial that didn't, one of his exes, she actually wrote a letter saying, like, I don't feel unsafe, you guys should let him out. But they did not let him out. The bail application was not enough. So now they just have to focus on the hearing. But while he's in there, he's got tons of civil lawsuits. Y'all can go follow @the Diddy docket on X, and that keeps you up to date on all the let me just pull it up real quick, the actual website. DiddyDocket.com. This keeps you up to date on all of his civil lawsuits. He's got let me see, civil cases right here. 101 cases found. So he's got so many. Look at that. So many. So many. Some of these are Tony Busby ones that are probably not gonna make it. But look at this. It just goes and goes and goes. So yeah, you guys can go head over there if you want to know more about the civil cases, but he's gonna need money to pay all those, right? If he loses them or whatever. But this is why I think that he's now suing Courtney Burgess and his attorney. So Courtney Burgess, I hope I'm saying his last name right. He's someone that went and testified to the grand jury prior to the trial, but the prosecution never used him. And a lot of people say, yeah, they never used him. He testified twice in the grand jury, I believe, is because he was full of it. That's what they said, like, he wasn't reliable. That's why the prosecution never used him. But anyways, his attorney, prior to the trial, went on NewsNation and alleged that there was video of him engaging with minors and celebrities. So he's doubling down on his previously filed lawsuit against the man and his attorney, both of whom says in an amended legal filing submitted this week made defamatory comments about the rap mogul's alleged involvement with, schmecks parties attended by both celebrities and underage individuals. In his now amended complaint that he has filed, he was awaiting a sex trafficking and racketeering trial in the same venue to seek $100 million in damages from the plaintiffs. He's suing Courtney Burgess and his attorney Ariel Mitchell and NewsNation's parent company Nexstar. The suit points to an October interview with Burgess and a September interview with Mitchell, in which the two discuss alleged video footage. Burgess states he possesses showing Combs allegedly assaulting celebrities, some of whom appear underage. One interview saw Burgess present still images allegedly from the videos in which Justin Bieber was shown kissing an unidentified male. I looked for this and I couldn't find that still. I found the videos and I couldn't find the still. So I'll have to sleuth that one out. But it says in the amended complaint filed Monday, August 11th in SDNY, Combs is now seeking no less than $100 million in damages for the severe reputational harm caused by Burgess' outlandish claims, which Combs' attorney alleged culminated in a media frenzy against the mogul. The allegations aired on NewsNation over multiple interviews and also included an assertion that Combs' late wife, Kim Porter, with whom he had 4 kids, had given Burgess a copy of her memoir and some tapes of the alleged celebrity SA before she died in 2018. So the interviews fooled the still ongoing frenzy of misinformation about the rap mogul that began following his September federal indictment, arrest, and then his ongoing incarceration at a Brooklyn federal lockup. So then it goes on to say, this pitiful spectacle, all pretense of objectivity has been abandoned as a global audience feast at the all-you-can-eat buffet of wild lies and conspiracy theories. He's calling out all the tinfoil heads. Oops, sorry. Mitchell and Burgess are among the worst perpetrators in this offensive scenario. And Mitchell, that attorney, she's of R. Kelly fame. She repped some of the girls in the R. Kelly trial. I believe that the 2 main girls, Ariel and I forget the other girl's name is, but they eagerly court every opportunity to broadcast blatant falsehoods, pretending they have proof that Mr. Combs engaged in heinous acts, knowing that no such proof exists. Burgess, who was subpoenaed by federal prosecutors to testify in front of a grand jury, considering additional charges against the rap mogul, was asked in a NewsNation interview if the alleged image of Bieber is legit, to which he responded, yes, definitely. He also said on NewsNation that of the 8 celebrities seen in the footage, 2 or 3 appear to be minors. NewsNation is now accused in the complaint of lending its credibility to and amplifying defendant Burgess and Mitchell's lies, giving them a mainstream media platform to malign Combs for defendants' collective profit. A message sent to Mitchell by the Hollywood Reporter did receive no comment. Neither did Nexstar. They declined to comment. The chief communications officer over there, Gary Whiteman. So it just goes to say that, he was arrested. He's in jail now. His sentencing is October 3rd. Oh, I don't know why he keeps doing that. And since the trial concluded, we know Maureen Comey was fired as prosecutor for the SDNY. So that's the latest. And I have the interviews here. I'm not going to play them all. But here's let me see if I can get it. Here's a little piece right here.
Celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all
Were victims
they
or were
victims.
perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all
Yeah,
were victimized,
Yeah.
meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those
He's
8,
so
how
shifty
many
eyed
seemed
though.
to
I don't
be
know.
potentially
Look at his
minors?
eyes, y'all.
2 to 3, possibly 3.
A
Unless he's just
$1,500 coke
nervous.
rack.
Okay, this
Didn't
is
even learn
YouTube, so
smoke
that's
on the
not me,
water.
y'all.
Babble.
Now it's on the ad. Okay, let's just go on to the other video. Well, what happened? Okay, let's just move on to this video because I don't know what happened with the So this was the other video with just the attorney.
You could see like you and me talking throughout the filings. They didn't like it.
They were pretty pissed off, to say the least, very upset. And I would assume you'd be upset when you know the truth is coming out and the truth is continuing to come out, and somebody like Mr. Burgess is delivering that truth. Mr. Burgess actually told me that he believed that the purpose of that gag order letter that was written by Mark Agnifilo on November 3rd was because Diddy knew that it was Courtney who was bringing this information and said, well, he finally got me where he wants me. So we truly believe that not only Mark Agnifilo, but also Sean Combs is very much so aware that the things that Courtney has talked about and said he witnessed, and the things that were on the flash drives, including the book, as well as the other videos, were definitely of real events and things that had happened. And that is the last thing that.
So basically, they doubled down. So they both went on one show, and then but I literally looked at both interviews, and I could not find this still image that they're talking about. That it was a still image of Bieber. So I don't know if y'all can, if any sleuths want to sleuth it out and see if y'all can find it, but it only said those 2 interviews, and those were the only ones I found, unless they just took it out or something. But it says that he did testify before the grand jury, but again, they didn't use him. And if y'all saw in that video, like his eyes are just shifty. I don't know if it was like he was scared, he didn't know what to say. But the memoir was called Kim's Lost Words: A Journey for Justice, which was given to him by Kim, allegedly. But I believe that book has since been pulled. And funny enough, the other book that was pulled was her ex-husband, Kim Porter's ex-husband. I don't know, were they married? Ex-boyfriend? Albie Shore. Remember, he wrote a book right before the trial, like talking about, Diddy and Kim, and then it got pulled by the publishing company. So that's some more tea there. It's like, why are the stuff getting pulled? Um, Ariel Mitchell says the alleged tapes tell the story of what Diddy has done over the past 30 years and his deviant activities. So obviously this is all allegedly. Attorney Mark Garrigo says he's not buying these allegations, or Burgess. I think the prosecutors think he failed the smell test, and I suspect the prosecutors brought him in front of the grand jury because I don't think anyone is buying what he's selling. And the fact that they didn't use him is, proof in some way to them that it was not true. So that's what's going on with that. There's NewsNation. I love NewsNation. I watch it all the time. So I guess they're going, and I watch Banfield all the time. I know she's not everyone's cup of tea, because some people think she exaggerates and stuff like that, but I enjoy her. Her and Brian Enton are 2 of my favorite reporters on NewsNation. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that for you guys. And then last one on Diddy before we jump into Busta, because Busta is so juicy. And I want to know what y'all think, whether he's using awards to get out of all this criminal stuff in the press. So the last one with Diddy is that Sarah Rivers, you guys remember her from Making the Band? She's claiming that her case against Diddy is very much alive after the judge slashed her lawsuit. So he slashed her lawsuit down to 1 claim, but I found this so funny. She said in a statement, "Don't think because y'all got that unlimited amount of baby oil that y'all gonna slide through this." So it is so funny. She doubled down on her allegations against him after the judge dismissed 21 of the 22 counts. She says that count 15, which claim he violated New York City's Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act, is still pending as Judge Rakoff awaits a Second Circuit ruling. The appellate court is left to decide whether this claim is time barred under New York's Adult Survivors Act, which was enacted in May 2022, and amended state law to allow alleged victims of SA, for which the statute of limitations had expired, to file civil suits for 1 year, from November 24th, 2022 to November 2023. From the outset, we have said these claims are meritless. This is Combs's lawyer, time barred and legally deficient. The court agreed, finding no legal basis to allow them to proceed. We're pleased the court carefully analyzed and dismissed these baseless claims. Y'all remember making the band? They had her go get the cheesecake and all that stuff. That's Sarah. In response, the R&B singer took to social media and remained persistent about her truth. Today, the courts dismissed some of the claims, not all of them. The most serious and personal claim, SA, remains very much alive. This fight was never about headlines. It's about truth, accountability, and justice for me, and for every other survivor that has been told that they should just give up. I will not be silenced, and I will not be intimidated. I will see this thing through. She continued, the journey continues. Oh, and don't think because y'all got all that unlimited amount of baby oil that y'all gonna slide through this. Come on now. And for those that have been trying to defame me with these false stories, the truth will be coming. Best believe that. So yeah, the lawsuit is seeking $60 million in damages for extreme emotional distress, impacting nearly every aspect of her life. She is represented by attorney Ariel Mitchell, who we just saw representing Courtney Burgess, who is currently named as a defendant in Combs's $100 million defamation lawsuit. So yeah, it's interesting how it's all connected. He still remains behind bars. Judge Arun Subramanian has called Diddy a risk of flight or danger. Yeah, I don't know why they put that in the bail package. Like, he still needs to be in airports because he needs to fly back and forth between Miami, New York. I would have just been like, he's getting a little place 2 blocks down from the courthouse, and he's wearing an ankle monitor, and you'll know where he's at any time. Like, I don't know. So yeah, so that's the Diddy of it all. We're gonna get into, let's see if anyone's ill, the baby oil. Wrathful. Yeah, that baby oil line is so funny. LOL, the baby oil line. No, I love that. I was just like, oh my gosh. Joe, good morning, Joe. Joe showed up for the hip hop show. We don't have a lot of hip hop heads. We had a lot more Baldoni lively heads yesterday. It was such a great show. If y'all didn't catch it, it was a really punny thumbnail. It was like, are you rusty? Do you want to catch up on all the legal updates with this? It was such a fun show. We had a lot of people, but thanks everyone for showing up today for this hip hop series, because I had gotten a lot of people wanting me to cover Tory, and so then I just kind of pulled together some other cases to present with it. And Titty made baby oil sound so bad. I know, and it's forever. Anytime anybody says baby oil, it's going to be connected to him. It's like, I can't look at baby oil the same way. Laura, hope no baby oil was spilled on this keyboard. Oh my God, Joe. Okay, so Wrathful, he's into hip hop, your husband? Yes, especially for this one. This Busta one is so juicy. So if he's in the house, let him know, like, we're about to break down this Busta one. And y'all can tell me if I'm just reaching, or if, like, I don't know. This was just, I literally came up with this as I was trying to look for this case, because as I was trying to find the case, I Googled Busta Rhymes thinking like it'd be there because this just happened, and it wasn't there. And all that was there was like, Busta Rhymes gets this award. Busta Rhymes gets this award. Busta Rhymes Hollywood Hall of Fame. Busta Rhymes is getting another award in the Caribbean. I'm like, what is going on? And then I finally see it like squished between, and if y'all don't follow Ashley Brianna Eve, y'all will give her a follow, because she's the one that taught me all I know. She's a branding, marketing, and PR expert. And, now I look at something called flooding the zone, where I was like, did he flood the zone to hide this criminal behavior in the civil lawsuit? Because it's basically like just him winning all these awards, all in like the Google SEO. And this, literally, there was only 2 blips. So this is one of the blips that I found, and it's a Courthouse News Service. They also very nicely provided the actual civil case. So Daniel Gables says he was iced out of the hip hop industry after filing a police report against the Break Your Neck rapper. And I loved Busta's music. As y'all know, I rap and stuff, and he had he had that fast. I think he's one of the top 2 fastest rappers. It's him and Eminem. So yeah, his flow was insane. In a federal lawsuit, Busta Rhymes' former assistant claims the rapper punched him in the face for being on his phone, an incident that spurred criminal charges. Then he fired him and blackballed him from the hip hop industry. He filed a civil complaint after hours on Monday against the Break Your Neck rapper, whose real name is Trevor Smith Jr. In the suit, Gables described the reported January assault in the lobby of Rhymes' Brooklyn residence during an argument between the two. Gables' daughter had called him, and Gables ignored the call but sent his daughter a text message. In response, Rhymes screamed at him and said, "Stay the F off your phone," and then punched the assistant twice. Defendants constructively terminated plaintiff's employment by repeatedly punching him in the face. Gables was hospitalized with swelling in his face and filed a police report. Rhymes turned himself into authorities to face 3 assault charges. Now, this is not his first rodeo. He has beaten up his driver. He beat up a fan that, that one, the fan did try and spit on his car. He didn't spit on him. He just spit on his car, but beat up a fan. So he's got some, anger issues here, but he's had prior incidents against his staff. After that, Gable says he was completely iced out of the hip hop industry where he had worked for years and built relationships. He claims the employee abuse was regular while working with him. He would spit on him. He would smack them in the back of the head. He would grab him by his clothes. Gable said he wasn't paid overtime wages. He'd just be worked, instead earning a daily flat rate of $200 while his boss threatened to bloody up his face and routinely called him a homophobic slur and made fun of his poor hearing. He said his working day would begin when Busta Rhymes woke up and end when he went to sleep. A rep for Busta could not be reached for comment, but he does end up commenting over here. So, guys, I linked the filing. I'm trying to kind of keep it under an hour when we're getting there. So, you guys can go and read the actual filing. It's pretty juicy. It's 13 pages long, not that long. It's in the description, but examples of his abusive behavior include but not limited to I'll bloody your face. I'm going to get street justice on you. Demanding his drivers run red lights and speed while the plaintiff was in the vehicle. His assistant was with him. Then threatening to dock employees' pay for resulting the traffic tickets. So he would ask them to speed, but then if they got a traffic ticket, he'd be like, it's coming out of your paycheck. Require plaintiff to purchase Grey Goose vodka and Kohl cigarettes with his own money and then not reimbursing him in a timely manner. Forbidding plaintiff from making small talk with waiters and others when dining out, stating, "Don't talk to them. You're here for one thing, to get me my food." Physically assaulting plaintiff and other employees when upset, including spitting in their faces, smacking the back of their heads, grabbing their clothes, etc., etc. And he would call him the F word and say, you need to go get a dang hearing aid. So those were the things. Wage and hour violations. He was overworked. The assault and battery when he was just trying to text his daughter and he got punched. Industry blacklisting. So he's listing everything. So these are the first, second, and third actions. Violations of fair labor, New York labor minimum wage, New York labor law wage violations, failure to pay spread of hours, assault and battery. And this is still ongoing in criminal court. I couldn't find anything else other than he got arraigned in February, and ever since then, it's crickets. So we're now in August. So that's another homework for any sleuths. Finding the Bieber picture, and if y'all can find the what's going on with the criminal case. But I sleuthed it, and all you can find was all these awards. As we move on, before we move on to all his awards, he calls it a shakedown. So he finally replied back. This was a couple days later. He's saying, I have been made aware of the claims made by Dashiell Gables, and I completely and categorically deny these allegations. For a very brief period, Dashiell assisted me, but it did not work out. Apparently, he's decided to respond to being let go by manufacturing claims. And the reason why I don't think they're manufactured is because he had an incident in 2006 and 2008 already. He's already had criminal charges, and I believe he just copped a plea deal or something. on those. He never did any time for that. Against me in an attempt to attack and damage my reputation, I look forward to proving these allegations false, and I'm preparing a countersuit. So we're definitely going to be covering this again once he does his countersuit, which I am confident will expose this for what it is, an attempted shakedown by a disgruntled former assistant. Ultimately, I'm certain the truth will prevail. So it goes into, what we just went into. But Gable says in a statement to The Guardian, I worked my heart out for Busta. Long hours, day and night, weekends, you name it. He bullied me from day one. He regularly insulted me, called me names and slurs, screamed at me in front of people. But I stuck around because I needed the work and I thought things would get better. But instead, he punched me twice in the face. So look, in 2008, Rhymes pled guilty to charges of assault and drunk driving after he was accused of beating and kicking his former driver. So it's like, I mean, is he just making it up based on these allegations? Like, I mean, it could be, because he did say about the driver and speeding. It could be that he got, info from these other lawsuits and say that it happened during a pay dispute while also attacking a fan at a festival. Then in 2015, he was arrested for throwing a drink at a gym employee. So he recently starred in the Naked Gun reboot and was honored with the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, the Naked Gun reboot, so this happened in 2024 that it was happening. So what I'm wondering is, did they try to like get him in a movie, get him the Hollywood Hall? I was talking to ChatGPT and about what it takes to get the star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they're like, it's years before. So riddle me this: he had not been active or anything. Like, I hadn't heard about Busta Rhymes since 2023. So 2024 is when this guy gets hired, and I'm wondering if it was like he already knew the criminal charges came in January of this year, but I'm wondering if he already knew what was coming and they set him up for this like icon arc, because that's all you see in the media. So we're going to get through them really quick. I'm just going to go through them, okay? We're not going to read them. We're just going to go through them. Busta Rhymes to receive Hip Hop Icon Award during final day of Harlem Week. Okay, so there's one. And this is all within like right after the lawsuit. So this is August 19th. That lawsuit was filed August 5th. Okay, so there's an award. But mind you, the criminal charges were since January. So Busta Rhymes honoring his legacy at the Caribbean Music Awards for Elite Icon Honor, prestigious. Here's another one. And this is just an award that they just made just for him at the MTV Awards. This award didn't even exist. This is where I was like, are they just trying to like up his image? I don't know, y'all. Tell me in the chat if y'all think I'm reaching, but Busta Rhymes to receive inaugural MTV VMA Rock the Bells Visionary Award. So this is just a brand new award that they made just for him. Let me get to the next one. Oh wait, did I accidentally closed it? Well, the next one was he got the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame, but it's like 4 awards back to back to back to back, and then the Hollywood Star of Fame, and then yeah. So let me see what the chat is saying. If y'all think I'm reaching or what. Money can buy just, yeah. See, Joy's like, sounds sus. Because I honestly, like, I love Busta Rhymes, but I'd never seen him like this active. Like, I mean, and you know what? He does deserve his flowers, but it was like bouquet after bouquet after bouquet after you just beat some poor guy up. Who has LOL, a new award? A lot of celebrities don't want the star because of the maintenance fee. I remember reading about it. Oh, I didn't know that. They get huge heads and thinks money gives them power, so everyone else is beneath them. Flooding the zone. Yeah. I was like, is he flooding the zone? So my new favorite ones, it used to be SEO. Everything was SEO. But my new favorite ones is that I learned from Ashley is above the fold, which is just like the main like headline that's above, like when it was old school newspaper, it was like what was above the fold. So now everything I'm like, oh, look at that above the fold. That's my favorite new word. And then flooding the zone is my second favorite. Yeah, give Ashley Brianna Eve a follow. She's my favorite. If you want to have education on like how PR stuff works and how you can see it. So I'd love her take on this if she thinks that he's just getting a bunch of awards to like, because it makes sense. Because at first I was like, wait, no, he got his Hollywood star before the lawsuit dropped. But then I'm like, but if the criminal charges had already dropped in January, it makes sense. So so yeah, so some of y'all agree uh narcissists don't care about maintenance. Are we talking about Blake and Ryan getting a star? Did Ryan get a star? Um yes. Okay. Thank you, Joy. After seeing Blake and Ryan suddenly get awards. Yes, I never even made that connection, but yes, they did. They started to get a bunch of awards too. Is this like reputation laundering? That's another word she taught me, reputation laundering. Is this reputation laundering through awards? I'm gonna send this over to her and see if she can comment for us. Yes, like the Lively Award for having wedding at a plantation and donating money to NAACP a decade ago. But her speech was about, yeah, exactly. So I don't want to like rain on his parade because he's done so much for the hip hop game. Um, and it probably is well deserved, but like why are we uplifting this man who literally just beat up some guy and has a history of beating up his staff? Um, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm usually good at separating the art and the artist, but like with this, it just I don't know, it doesn't feel right. But I mean, I am on one hand looking forward to his performance at the VMAs. He's also that's another thing. He was performing for so many things. Like I believe he did like let me just pull up really quick. He did so many festivals, y'all. Like he performed so many things within like a month. Um let me see if I had the screenshot. Okay, it was Rock the Bells. So it was within like the last 3-4 months. Rock the Bells in June, Glastonbury in June, Stanford concert in July. He got the Hollywood Walk of Fame August 1st. His Harlem Week Award on the 17th. He's going to get his BMA on September 7th. And then he did the Naked Gun reboot. So it's like, I mean, maybe if he just decided to like not work all of 2024 and then all of a sudden up it all or whatever, like start working, putting in work. But to me, it just seems weird. As we wrap it up here, I have a couple other cases. We're not going to get into it, but some that you guys can maybe look into. Just to end off the hip hop vibe. I'm just going to go through them. We're not going to like read the articles or anything, but these are just some new cases in hip hop right now. Okay. Atlanta-based rapper Metro Boomin is heading to trial over an SA lawsuit. So if y'all know Metro Boomin, he is being accused of SA. The plaintiff is Vanessa Lemestri, and they were going to try and do mediation, but it was unsuccessful. So now it's heading to trial. We also have Miss Cardi B, who we talked about. We did an episode with her. If y'all want to watch it, it's the thumbnail that has Cardi and Blake in it. She is also being sued. So not only is she being sued for throwing that mic at that fan, 2 men are suing the rapper for copyright theft and are now asking the judge to weigh in on the track list for a highly anticipated sophomore album. So I believe the album's going to drop here soon, in the next couple of weeks, I believe. But yeah, so there's a lawsuit with her coming out of Miami that we're keeping a eye on. We also have Ty Dolla $ign, who settled his Vulture sample lawsuit. So he settled it, but they're still trying to go after Kanye. And so this is basically they sampled a song on the album Vultures. But I found it weird because, it's like, how does half of it settle and the other half doesn't? But I know Kanye's still out of the country, so that might be why. So that's another thing on hip hop news. And then we also have Kodak Black, who was just sued for 10.6 million. And this one is a spicy one too. Let me hold on. I might have to refresh it because it's not going down. Okay, there we go. Over a shooting that occurred in 2022. The rapper has been named in a lawsuit by Mark Schaefer and Adam Rockman, who were injured in the incident. So 10.6 million is a lot. So that's one I'll be following, Kodak Black, and see what happens with that. And then finally, last but not least, ooh, and I'm freezing up. Hold on. It actually froze up. Okay, well, I think I accidentally exited out because I was trying to refresh it, but it was Soldier Boy is also in some legal trouble. So it's all the people that I used to listen to growing up. Like You know, you guys remember Soldier Boy, Crank That? So it says, you had a Soldier Boy. I mean, I don't know the lyrics. It's been a while, but yeah, so that was our show, y'all. It's we are done with the show. Tomorrow's show is going to be the legal wrap up. Let's see what the chat was saying. Well, it says, you sounds like Soldier Boy. I don't know how to say it. I can hear it in my head, but I can't sing it. Crank That. But yeah, give me Offspring over Kanye any day. So you were more into the I liked Offspring though too. Into like the alt rock in the 90s. No, thank you at the beach for showing up. I appreciate you guys. Blake froze it. No, it probably was one of these, like all these were like, I mean, if Busta has the money to like all these awards, like these are all real powerful people. And I talked about some very, very powerful people. This is all for entertainment purposes, allegedly. Like for reals, don't sue me and don't come after me. I'm just a tinfoil head. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I appreciate you guys all for showing up. So stay tuned tomorrow, though, for sure. The legal wrap up, we have Perez. We have some hot tea that Dana spilled. If y'all don't want to wait, you guys can go over to her channel. She spilled some Kevin Costner hot tea on that. You know that they were suing Kevin Costner for supposed, like, you know, she felt that she got SH'd on the set. I don't believe she said SH, but you know, there was inappropriate stuff going on. So there's some hot tea. Raph was like, no, it's definitely Blake's fault. No, I used to blame Ryan and Blake for everything, but this one I honestly just think I had too many tabs open, and the memory just wasn't there. But we're gonna go over that one. There's so many juicy ones. I have Taylor Swift entering the chat tomorrow. There's another lawsuit against her, or that includes her, I guess I should say. And what else? We have such a great show for you guys. It's just going to be wrapping up all Blake Lively stuff, and updating you guys on all the cases that we have been going over, any updates on it. So we will see you guys tomorrow, and I appreciate everyone for showing up. Joy says she really enjoys hearing us and hearing me in the morning and in the chat. So I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I love hanging out with y'all this morning. It was hot tea. I'm like, we'll have to see. Drop a comment when you guys leave here and let me know if I'm tripping about the awards or not. And just leave your comment on what you think about this, from fame, falls, and felonies, from bars to bars. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. See y'all tomorrow.